In the latest pod news, Canadian podcast listener have written up learnings from their recent survey into podcast listening in the country. Breaking down the doors to the podcasting club argues that podcasting needs to be more welcoming to new listeners and shows the full data from the research. They also publish a shareable infographic. Serial saw over 1.4 million global downloads in the first 14 hours of release, according to Podtrac. Nick Quah describes it, quote, as a juggernaut. By way of comparison, NPR's Morning Edition radio show gets 14.2 million listeners a week, 10 times as much, in the US alone. Current covers the host of Home of the Brave, Scott Carrier, who funds his podcast entirely by listener donations. The first thing he says is, don't worry about the money, worry about the story. Is a podcast club the new book club, asks a Forbes blogger. They focus on Adela Mizrachi, who runs Podcast Brunch Club. Michelle Guthrie, the managing director of Australia's largest podcaster, the government-funded ABC, was sacked on Monday by the ABC board. It's since been reported that the chairman of the board, Justin Milne, requested that a journalist who'd reported stories critical of government policy should be fired. He's been asked by his employees to stand down, but he hasn't yet. Vox Media have released their Q3 2018 slate of podcasts, which more than doubles the size of the podcast network. New podcasts announced include new titles from Recode and SB Nation. Dr. Death, Wonder Is hit podcast leads the chart of total 5-star ratings for any serialized podcast, they say. It has over 23,000 ratings in total. And for all the links, more stories, and to subscribe to our free daily newsletter, visit podnews.net.